everybody. Welcome back to Meet Me in the Middle. We're here with Marie Griffith, Lindsay Pollard, and I. We've had some minutes here talking about spiritual abuse, talking about women in ministry. Please go back and listen to 1 and 2 of the other episodes we've done with Marie. We're gonna come together right now. Over now, we're taking it from kind of some unhealthy places to spiritual formation and what healthy spiritual formation looks like. So I'm going to jump right in because we don't have long in this segment. But Marie, I would love for you to give a good definition of 3 things, really. Well, 2 things, really.
Okay.
What is your definition of spiritual formation? What does that look like for you? And then also, we're going to, I know you have been trained, and I'm going into this in the fall, which I'm so excited to into spiritual direction and trained to be a spiritual director. Mm-hmm. Okay, I need you to, first of all, because some people may not understand that term and what does that mean. Sometimes when I even say spiritual director, they're like, what is that woo-woo, all that kind of stuff. People get all weirded out, and I'm like, no, it's not that. So help us and help people understand a good, healthy definition and understanding of that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with spiritual formation first.
Okay.
So spiritual formation is, I would say, the ongoing intentional practice or process of being formed into the image of Christ. That's how I would define it as a Christian.
Okay.
Spiritual formation is going to be, I use the word intentional because we are all being formed in one way or another. We can't live and not be formed. We are being formed by the culture, by television, by social media, by politics, by whatever environment we find ourselves in. We are always being formed because we just are. That's part of our humanity. But spiritual formation is an intentional act to where you are deciding to, I'm going to develop certain practices, find out, learn what ways help me become more like Christ.
Yeah.
And I say that because it can be so many things, Joy. In the Baptist church, I love my Baptist roots. But in the Baptist church, I, thought it was quiet time, which included prayer and reading my Bible, and going to church. And they had this thing called training union too.
Yes.
So that was basically spiritual formation. And I never even heard the word spiritual formation until like 7 years ago. But it is catching on more and more because Dallas Willard was a big proponent of this. If y'all don't know Dallas Willard, I would encourage you to look it up. My goodness, he awesome. He was a Baptist preacher, but so full of, when he speaks, he's just very pastoral and full of grace. But he really talked about his sadness that the church had turned discipleship into this, what we were talking about earlier, rigid rules.
Right.
Like, here's your playbook, go and do this.
Yes.
Not taking, look, I heard this term, when they do it in school. Some people need an individual education plan. Guess what?
Yeah.
That's what God wants us each to have. There's not a formula for this. So, another thing that churches do, they do it with good intentions. I do believe this, but they're like, here, take this on your next step journey. Here's our growth track. Well, it's like, but what if everybody doesn't learn that way? What if everybody, So I don't know. I love thinking spiritual formation as your individual, you know,
Your
let's
IEP.
not even call it, yeah, your IEP, but let's call it an individual experience plan because you know where we are more changed than anything?
Mhm.
Experiences. I mean,
Mhm.
I know God's love in a deeper way than I ever have because I've experienced it. Uh,
Yeah.
I believe it in my bones because I've experienced it. So spiritual formation is that it can and does include scripture study. But look, I know people who can engage with the Bible right now because it has been so weaponized to them. Because
Yes.
I work with women who have come out or are in um, spiritually abuse environments.
Right.
So some of them have been so damaged that
Hmm.
I will actually say, Sister, it is okay. God is, He is with you. If you need to
Hmm.
step away from reading right now, that is fine. He will lead you back. He
Hmm.
will get you back there. But spiritual formation or spiritual practices can be anything from some people get that through gardening. Okay,
Hmm.
this kind of working with your hands and think about what a beautiful thing that is. You're planting seeds, you're seeing it nurture. You know, it can be the act of reading, it can be art journaling, it can be taking photographs, it can be dancing.
Hmm. There you go. There it
Um,
is.
so, I don't know if y'all have heard the term rule of life, but it's an ancient Christian, you know, it's like a plan, but some people would get a rule of life and they would do it like on a yearly basis. And this year I'm going to practice in these ways to align my character more with Christ. So, but I like that. I don't like necessarily the word rule, and I'm not going to take credit for this. We did this at my in my grad school program at Friends, but we created a rhythm of life.
I love it. Mm.
And you do it like, what are your daily rhythms, what are your
Mhm.
weekly rhythms, what are your
Mhm.
monthly rhythms, and what are your annual rhythms? So what are
Mhm.
those things that where God, He's gifted you and given you a unique personality, and in your heart those things that stir you up to
Yeah.
worship. One of the
Yeah.
ways that I'm stirred to worship is to be outdoors, almost in any capacity, to be
Mhm.
outdoors, a
Mhm.
lot of times moving, and it can be walking the trails. I
Mhm.
am moved to worship
Yeah. Yeah.
um, because I see his creation, right?
Yeah.
And so that is a daily rhythm for me. I
Mhm.
get outside and walk. That's
Mhm.
one of my daily rhythms. Another daily rhythm is I sit in my sunroom before work every day, or I did it today. I just sit there in silence for
Mm.
at least, it's usually no less than 30 minutes. On
Mm.
days that I can, it's longer. So in that silence, sometimes I'm praying, sometimes I'm just being with God, just
Mhm.
being, no agenda. And I'm telling you, from my Baptist roots, that's very hard not to just say all the words. To say all the words and make all the requests. But I've learned that there's this thing called centering prayer,
Yeah.
um, that helps you do that. So you center, you just think about being with God. So there is so much to spiritual
Mhm.
practice. It's such a beautiful process. A lot of people would know this term, sanctification. Sanctification is the act of us being changed from, some people say, glory to glory, right? Like we
Yeah.
are changed incrementally into the image of Christ. Well,
Right.
with a spiritual formation, we are being intentional about that. We are collaborating with God
Yeah.
in our transformation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're partnering with him. He calls
Yes.
us into partnership. He says, "You are my friends." And he says, "Join me in what I'm doing in the kingdom," because he wants to include us in that. Isn't that just mind blowing? He
It
wants to
is.
include us. He goes, I could go do this for your friend over here, but I'm going to include you in this because um, I want you to participate with me in this transformation of somebody else too. But you're saying we're being changed from glory to glory. I was thinking as you were saying that, it made me think we're being formed.
Day
We
by day.
are being formed.
Day by
Yeah.
day.
Day by
And we're co-laborers with him,
Yes.
partners, we're co-laborers. And I
Yes.
think as women, going back to that point,
Mhm.
we're so special in the sense that we can carry life because we
Mm.
are co-laboring in the act of creation.
Yes. Yes.
So no
Yeah.
wonder why the enemy is so after us because he cannot create.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And you're talking about formation, the different rhythms. I love that. Is it Ruth Haley Barton that has that
Yes.
spiritual rhythms or I'm going blank on the title.
Yeah. I don't know the title either, but she's a good resource.
And
Yeah,
what is
that
her name again?
pardon?
Her name again?
I think it's Ruth Haley Barton, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can put that in some of the notes,
Okay.
the show notes as they
And,
say.
and wait a minute,
But
go back to the dancing part. We skipped the
I know.
dancing
I was
part.
just gonna say, I have a friend who just does this. I mean, he just calls it a spiritual dance. And honestly, this is where God met him and saved him and changed his life in this expression of dancing spiritually, to like an interpretive dance, talk about that, Marie, how
Yeah.
that can be a place
Um,
of worship.
well, my dancing doesn't sound as beautiful as that. Mine is just anyway, I love to move. I love movement.
Yeah.
I've always loved movement. And one of my favorite I mean, I love music. I'm one of those kind of people that if people talk about, let's go listen to live music. I'm like, is there a dance? Because my worst nightmare is to be where there's music. Am I going to be able to dance? Because it's very hard for me to listen to certain kinds of music and not dance.
Not
But
move.
anyway, I
Yeah.
just have it in me. It's always been there, and I just love to move. And so I've made it now, like since 2024, I make intentional time to go dance intentionally. So this year, I'm at least going once a month to dance. And look, some of the places might be unsavory. Okay. Like,
But your angel is with you.
but my angel is with me. Thank you for saying that, Lindsay. But and look, I go with friends. It's not unsafe. And I'm not, and look, I'm one of these that look, can we start the music early? Because I gotta be, in the bed by 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? Um, just, but oh my gosh, it has radically changed my life. And I'm telling you, I feel such delight. I feel God's delight when I'm dancing.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
think
feel his delight.
so? Who the runner Eric Liddell
Yes.
that
Yes.
ran Chariots of Fire? He felt God's joy
You
when he
did.
ran, right? So he was
Yeah.
running, he was doing something that wasn't like sitting and reading his Bible and praying or singing. So that was the way he felt the joy of God. And he felt that, when he ran, because that was just an expression of him using his actual temple of God. Our bodies are the temple of God to just wow, just do what it was made to do. And so David in the Bible danced and he got ridiculed for that.
Yeah.
But that was his form of worship and praise to God. This is a great day of celebration. We're bringing the ark back. I think that was what it was all about. And I don't have a problem with that. I love that. I think people again need to know, like, well, who told you that was all wrong? You know?
Right. Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that because we talked about, our beliefs form are really, our beliefs form what we do, right? And so I had to, and I'm not saying I still don't. I'm an ordained chaplain. And so then I'm going to dance.
Mm.
Does that really? Y'all, I cannot explain to you how many people that I've met that I never would have met otherwise.
Yeah.
But I believe that, I mean, God lets himself be known through us, like our light shines. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we are commanded to do that, right? Like, let your light so shine. Well, mine is shining on the dance floor. Okay. Like, and it could one day lead, and it has in a lot of cases. It's led to us. Like I had lunch with a friend the other day. We never would have met if I had not been to my first dance thing at the Electric Bell. It was disco night. We met, and we have very, very deep, life giving conversations.
I love it.
He's a Christian. I'm a Christian. We have dance in common, but not just that. We have a love of family, a love of God, and he's in recovery. We talk about all those beautiful things. So it's just, that's what God does.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love
yeah.
it. Okay, we got like 2 minutes, I think. But you've already been trained to be a spiritual director. Would you please help me explain that, because that is such a misunderstood term too, and new to a lot of people. Explain that. And I do want to tell everybody that you all can go to Giant Church Incorporated, Giant Church Inc. Is that what it is? .com or
Churchincorporated.com. Yep. Incorporated is spelled out.
livelikeitmatters.com,
Livelikeitmatters.net.
livelikeitmatters.net, where you can read blogs or see different things that Marie's been doing. But before we jump off of here, describe spiritual direction and what that's meant to
Okay.
you.
And I also want to say I do have another website specifically for my spiritual direction. It's called spiritualdirectionwithmarie.com. So,
Okay, thank you. I'll put that in
um,
the show notes.
spiritual direction, I would say, in its simplest term, is a soul companion. What does that mean? Really, what we do, we're not directing anything. The Holy Spirit is the true director. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of a weird term. That's why some people say it a spiritual companion. But spiritual direction is an ancient Christian tradition. It was
Mm-hmm.
just more, it stayed more in the Catholic Church and didn't come over to the Protestant Church. But now it's making a comeback in the Protestant Church. Um, but I companion people, whether I have 3 clients right now, and I'll just tell you the difference. One of them is really, I would say, untangling what she was taught as a child, because there's
Mm-hmm.
some dissonance about this is what I was taught, but that's not been my experience. Ooh, what
Mm-hmm.
do I do with that? So I
Right.
walk with her in that. I
Mm-hmm.
listen. I do more listening than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I have one who is discerning whether he is going to enter the priesthood in the Episcopal Church.
Okay.
So I can be a co-discerner, with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I have one that is really, she came in, her first session was just like, she'd had it, absolutely had it with God. And so she grew up Catholic,
Mm-hmm.
but there's something in her that's pulling, God's pulling at her. And so she's trying to figure it out. And I listen to her
Mm-hmm.
and I encourage her that God's never left her, and
Mm-hmm.
God is gonna, he's meeting you right where you are, and you can say be where you are, and say what you need to say, and I'm here listening to you as you do that. And I ask questions that may evoke something that, I can, it's really, I'm an objective witness at the work of God in their lives. Like this lady, she couldn't see it because she was mad at God. She
Mm-hmm.
felt like God had left her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can see and point out where he is working in a deep way in her life. She just couldn't see it. So, but my website, Spiritual Direction with Marie, can give you more information, but also there's so many resources out there now about spiritual direction because it's a growing ministry in the Protestant church. Yeah.
I love Soul Companion. Is that not great? I mean, Lindsay and I are that for each other anyway. You know what I mean? So we are that. We're just afraid of terms, you know?
Yeah. And I want to say more than to each other, when even like being with people in this podcast, you are with them in a certain way because you are allowing all of these different, ideas and thoughts, and you're not telling anybody. You're wanting to evoke a kind of thinking and um, pointing them to Jesus. That's that's what I do. Even when people are struggling in their faith.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh, I have more questions. Oh my goodness. I could do another whole hour. Lindsay, would you close us just because I know Marie, we're trying to respect the time. Lindsay, close it out.
So much for just blessing us today, enlightening us on different definitions and terminology. And, we spoke about advocacy and women in ministry, spiritual formation. We talked about the different ways that you can reach Marie, and Joy is going to leave those in the links and in the description. But more than anything, just believing and knowing that God is walking with you through it all, that we are co-laborers with him, that we are partners. We're in a partnership with him. We are his children, his daughters, and his sons, and that he has commissioned all of us to go out and spread the love of Christ and repent and be baptized. Basically, that's what it is. So no matter what area of spirituality you find yourself in, just know that he's using you, and he is trusting you every single day that you wake up to go by somebody. In Marie's case, Marie goes dancing, and is sending her by different people that she would probably have never met. And so who's to say how God uses us? The message out. And so we just want to thank you for being with us for all three parts. Please make sure that you follow us, that you subscribe. And it's funny because Joy and I are soulmates, spiritual soulmates. And when you were talking about, real quick, when you were talking about the last person that was angry with God, Marie, Joy and I met about a week or so ago, and Joy said, "Sit, spit." And so hard because I was so angry, and she was like, "Sister, you need to sit and spit." And she said, "God knows your heart, spit it out." He said, "God knows your heart, get it out. He knows it." And so, we just leave you with a few little giggles just because we laugh all the time. And we just want to encourage you that whatever middle you're in, whatever middle you've gone through or that you're still existing in, God is with you. And so that we say goodbye until the next time. And thank you for joining us on Meeting in the Middle.